Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Easter. I was going to do a journey today to Jesus. It's one of those things that it doesn't really matter what your belief system is. Christ consciousness is important for everyone because it's a consciousness of unconditional love and understanding. And connecting on to that consciousness is always very beautiful and very soothing, very peaceful. I see a lot of darkness in the world right now because of all the fear. And I've done a few journeys on that, and it's like one of those things, should I share them, should I not share them? I think for one of the things for me is that when you see so much fear in the world, you don't want to add to that fear. You don't want to add to that, to add messages that create more fear. You want to basically focus on the positive things as much as possible. But all the fear in the world is creating and waking up a darkness we haven't seen in a very long time. A darkness, an old darkness. And I think it's very important that we understand that the more fear that we put into the world, the more the darkness will rise to feed off that fear. So it's good to concentrate on the things and send love into things that are from fear. I'm just going to allow the message to come through whichever way it needs to. But I need to, one of the things I always like to say is always focus on love as much as possible. And when you're afraid, to think of things that help you not to be afraid. It's very important. It's easy to get wrapped up in fear and get lost to it. Especially in a time when there is so much fear in the world and so much uncertainty and there's just so much uncertainty. And people are a little bit flabbergasted at exactly how things are right now. And there's a lot of questions of what is real, what isn't real, what's the truth, what isn't the truth. It's always best to go within yourself to find the truth. It's easy to get lost in the manipulation and fear of everything that is going on. So it's always really important to remember who we are, where we come from, and to concentrate on the positive side of life as much as possible. I'm just going to close my eyes and connect to Spirit, to Jesus consciousness, to Jesus Self. I'm in an area and I'm surrounded by, originally it's orbs of light, and they're flying all around me, and they turn into doves. And the doves are spinning around me and flying and even going through me. It's interesting, I just get all these white doves flying around me and through me. And I'm allowing them to do this. It actually feels really refreshing when they enter into your heart and out. It also creates sadness, and not of necessarily in a bad way. It brings sadness to the surface so you can let it go instead of having it deep down inside yourself. That you let your sadness out and cry if you need to, and give it back to the earth, give it back to Spirit, so it's not kept inside yourself. So I see, as the doves pass through me, I go on my knees and I start to cry, and I cry for a long time. And I stand up and it's like I stretch and the doves form a person. And Jesus appears in front of me. And it's like When was the last time you allowed yourself to cry about the things that are not right in your life? Especially being a man, it is so hard to cry. It's so hard just to allow those emotions to flow. But the question is why? Because we're taught that way throughout our whole lives that men don't cry. And then we look at women that cry and think they're crazy. Well, maybe in some ways that we're a bit crazy for not allowing ourselves to feel. To feel is one of the things that is difficult for men. He walks up and touches my heart, and my heart starts to glow. And he pulls out sadness within my own heart for what is going on in my own life. And I gladly give it to him, because I don't want to hold on to things that make me sad, that stop me from moving forward. It's one thing that I've always tried to do, is let go of things as I know that they're there. It is hard to do sometimes, because sometimes you're not even aware. You get wrapped up in your life, and wrapped up in your sorrow, and wrapped up in so many things, that it's so easy just to continue to struggle through life, and then you realize, why was I holding on to all this stuff all this time? I don't want any of this. This is not what I want to be. This is not what I want to do. This is not important to me anymore. So he takes that orb and he places it on, it's a circular pedestal. It has like a big chalice on top of it, and he places, it has a liquid in it. He places the orb in the liquid, and the orb sinks down into the chalice, and the chalice glows really bright. And he tells me to drink from it. So I actually drink from the chalice, and I start to glow really, really, really bright. And I start to lift off the ground, and the light gets brighter and brighter within my heart. And it explodes into light. I allow myself to build up with the light, and I send it back to the earth. Hits the surface of the earth and expands like veins throughout the whole world, and starts growing trees all over the world. And the trees give off pollen, and the pollen flows throughout on the wind, and people start to breathe in the love and the light. Some accept it and some don't. There's still a lot of veins of darkness within people's hearts. And you could see it very clearly when they breathe in. And not even just breathing in, you see when these trees are all over the world, and you see the light shining, and you see the people that walk in light and the people that walk in darkness. And the world is still so full of darkness. And deep within the earth, something is rumbling. Something is coming to the surface. Something very big and old. And this comes out of the earth and starts going around the earth. It's like streams of darkness. But it's important to shine the light of these trees even brighter in this time, and send more pollen out, so more and more people have the opportunity to breathe in this light And it's like streaks of black clouds that are very thin, that have a purpose, that go in and out of people all over the world, and they become more and more fearful. And there's people in the world that bring in the light, and the strings of light that are going around the world, and people are breathing them, and they're going in and into those people. So I see two different things happening here: fear rising and love rising. It's like a battle between light and dark. But is the purpose of this of the darkness to continue to grow in darkness, or is it here for another purpose? I see that the darkness has an angel inside of it, and it's an angel of light that's surrounded by darkness, that is sending darkness all over the world to rise the fears of people, to bring them to the surface. Will people be free of darkness? These dark, shadowy creatures are being run by this one huge angel that walks across the earth, gathering up all the fear within itself, but all along being controlled by a really beautiful spirit of light that is here to bring people's fears to the surface so that it can take them away from them. And then I see these trees getting brighter and brighter and brighter. The more people that allow the love to enter them, the brighter they become. So Jesus is asking every one of you to send love and light into these trees so they get brighter and brighter and brighter, so pollen can go over the world, go over the earth. As this angel of darkness and light walk across the world, the people that are shining in white light are not even seen, but the people that are cowering in fear is where it focuses its energy on, to continue to bring the fear to the surface so that it can be let go, it can be taken away. So what does it say when you have a spirit of light, like an angel of light, that also has a dark side that goes across the earth to take away our fears? What does that say about darkness? What does that say about angels? And when this is over, the angel takes the orb of darkness and sends it to a different place. But it is an orb of darkness that is so heavy and so dense. It's locked away in a sacred place. Until again it will be reopened. But that will be in a very long time. But it's interesting that it sounds like it will be reopened at some point in the future. However, it is not meant to be lost forever, because this darkness within ourselves has a lot of learning and understanding in it that the universe needs to absorb and needs to understand. And when we reach a point where we can finally be able to handle that energy, to transform it, it will be reopened again. Tahin no fursnei, taka sakindo. Hia manahi sakato, hayatn toisni, nahakun taini makai, Samanahi no hasorende. Taki sunna morhayentai so. Tikoa nahi toko shino ahiantai mo. Tiahia mo silani. Tiahinwai. Siahi ore. Nasatai. Tukorama. Te se. The darkness will be locked away in a sacred place for some time. Tiana hasoin moi. Until we're able to grow. Hiamana hisurano. Take sana hoente. In love and light. To be able to transform. Tia nasarintamai. Sakahior mai. The darkness within our own hearts. Satahi o manahi. Suran naki senamai. Satakurahi. The learning has ended. Tuahanahi seomanai. Tukuanataini. Someday we will be wise enough Tiurayanasi koai to unlock what is hidden within inside. Tasanahi suamo. The darkness. Nahi sanamati karai. To rise above. Homon nahi selano. Tiko amani silai. The fear. Oh, si nakasomai. To understand love. Sioi sinomanai is to understand fear. Oh, sahi sinamahi. Katai sano hiro. To understand fear with all and within all our hearts. To understand love, you have to understand fear. He folds a book, like he closes a book like this and folds it up. And he takes that and places it back into his heart. So the message he wants everybody to understand is simple. This is a simple message that he wants everybody to hear and everyone to understand. No matter how bright you feel you are, to understand love, you must understand fear. That's all he says. He actually bows to everyone and says, thank you for listening. And have a wonderful Easter. In this difficult time that is necessary to change the world. Thank you, everyone. And that was a message from Jesus. It does not matter if you believe in the message. It does not matter if you believe in anything. That is the message that has been delivered. And that is a message that is meant for people that are willing to listen to it and to understand. I'm not here to change the people that are unchangeable. I am here for people that want to listen to a different perspective, a different way of thinking. There's so many people that are hung up on the little things. There's a lot of hypocrites that speak one thing and do something else. But the most important thing as a human race, as a spiritual race, is that we are good to one another. Our actions. The world is in turmoil. The world needs people to stand up and love and light and not be against one another for little petty things. And to attack someone is an attack on yourself. And if you attack people, then you're full of fear and you're not full of love. There's a lot of people that attack people in the name of religion, in the name of science, in the name of many different things. Realistically, it doesn't matter if people disagree with you. What matters is that you follow your heart and love, and your actions are for the betterment of everyone and not just yourself. So if you think attacking someone in the name of religion, it's almost used as a guard, as a scapegoat for other people or other things in the way that you do, in the way that you act. It's easy to say that you do it in the name of God. Well, God is not saying to attack people. He's saying to love people. He is saying to spread love throughout the world. And just because someone is different it's their actions that are important. It's what they do that is important. And what they're saying, it might be different than what you believe in. And that's okay, as long as their actions follow their heart and follow what is good for the world. We know when we help one another, when we respect one another, when we work together, we can create and do amazing things. When we break down people for the simple fact is that they're slightly different than you, when we step over people instead of helping them up, when we purposely go out of way to hurt people. And you could throw anything in front of that if you want, but ultimately you're a coward and you're full of fear. And I don't know how to really say it any other way. We're here to help each other. We're here to love each other. We're here to grow as a human race, to rise above our fears. But the world is full of fear. Everywhere. And now more so than anything, and now we have woken up a darkness that has come across the world. But at the same time, this darkness is to help us remove our fears, to face our fears, to let them go, to transform them, to bring them back into balance. I guess this is something else that he wishes to speak to you about, because I feel it's coming from my heart and I still connect it to Jesus, and this is another thing that he wants us to understand, that our actions, not our words, shows us who we truly are. Thank you very much, everyone. And if you wish to do a journey with me, you can visit my website, AmonRasaAwakening.com. You can visit my Northern Light page, JosephBradleyAuroras.com. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.